It hit me like a punch to the gut, the memory of Toby. 12 years old, and they told me he had to go. My parents, whispering about Sarah's baby, about risks, about how a dog wasn't safe. Toby, my shadow, gone. Rehomed, they called it, to some phantom relative upstate. I cried until my eyes were raw, promised to be responsible. Anything. Nothing worked. He vanished, a hole ripped in my childhood. 15 years blur past. Sarah's got 3 kids now, a minivan, the whole suburban dream. Me, I'm in Brooklyn, career humming along, family a distant echo. Then my phone rings, Sarah's name flashing. My thumb hovers over decline. Bad instinct wins. Michael? Hey, it's Sarah. Like I wouldn't know. What's up? Keep it clipped, professional. Listen, I need a huge favor. Knew it. Only calls when she wants something. Should have hung up. Go on. Buster, we need someone to watch Buster. Buster. Her golden retriever. 5 years old, fluffy, slobbery, adored by her perfect kids. The kids who couldn't be near my dog but apparently deserved their own. The hypocrisy choked me. You're kidding, right? My voice probably sounded tighter than I intended. She sighs, that dramatic Sarah sigh. Michael, seriously? It's just for a bit. Renovations, dust, noise, contractors tramping through. It's chaos here. He'd be miserable. And you've got that brownstone with the backyard, right? He'd love it. Love it? Where was this sudden animal lover when I was a kid, heartbroken, begging them not to take Toby? The irony was a bitter pill. I leaned back in my worn leather armchair, staring out at the fire escape, at the city grit clinging to everything. Sarah, do you even remember why I don't have a dog anymore? A pause, a beat too long. Michael, come on, that was ancient history. Ancient history? Not to me. Another pause. Then the shift. The Sarah shift. When charm fails, she goes for guilt. Then aggression. Are you seriously still dragging that up? It's pathetic, Michael. I was a kid. I didn't make that call. Mom and Dad did. And you didn't exactly argue, did you? You got what you wanted. Never looked back. Silence. Probably realizing I'm not backing down this time. Look, I don't have time for this drama. Yes or no? Can you help us out or not? The impatient edge creeping in. Every cell in my body screams no. Hang up. Tell her to find a kennel. But then, a flicker. A nasty little seed of an idea. Satisfaction, cold and sharp, starts to bloom. Maybe I should take Buster. Maybe I should let Sarah sweat a little, see how much she really cares. Justice, finally, after all these years. A twisted kind of justice, but still. I take a slow breath, force my voice to stay even. Fine, I'll take him. Silence on her end, maybe surprised I folded so easily. Really? Great. Thanks, Michael. You're a lifesaver. The fake sweetness dripping off her words. If she only knew what I was planning. Sarah shows up the next morning, all rushed and frazzled, designer yoga pants and a scowl. Buster bounds out of her SUV, a golden tornado of tail wags and happy panting. He's gorgeous, no denying it. Too good for her, clearly. Innocent bystander in this whole mess. She barely glances at me, just shoves the leash in my hand, a flimsy bag of kibble and a chewed-up toy. Here's his stuff. Thanks a million, Michael, really. It's just for a couple of weeks, maybe a month tops. The contractor is a nightmare. A month? A month? You said a while. She waves a dismissive hand. Yeah, well, renovations, Time flies. You'll be fine. It's not like you have anything else going on. The classic Sarah dig. Dismissing my life, my job, everything. Like I'm just waiting around for her to need something. I grip the leash tighter, nod slowly. Sure, I'll take good care of him. The emphasis is deliberate, but she's already turning away, distracted. Great. Okay, gotta run. Kids' soccer practice. Don't let him chew the furniture. Another fake laugh, and she's practically sprinting back to her car. Sarah, wait, I call out, making her pause at the curb. Just one thing, if something happens and I can't keep him anymore, do you want me to find him another home? Or just drop him at a shelter? Her head snaps back, whiplash speed. What? No. Michael, don't be ridiculous. I shrug, innocent act. Well, you did it to my dog, figured it was an option. Oh my God, are we seriously back to Toby? Again? She rolls her eyes. Dramatic sigh number 2. Toby was different. I had babies. It wasn't safe. This is temporary, Michael, temporary. I smile, a slow, deliberate smile. Just checking. She mutters something under her breath, slams her car door and peels out, tires squealing on the Brooklyn street. Doesn't even wave goodbye. I close the door, exhale slowly. Buster, oblivious, sits at my feet, big brown eyes looking up at me, tail thumping a happy rhythm against the hardwood floor. He has no clue what's coming. I crouch down, scratching behind his ears. You and I, buddy, we're going to teach your owner a little lesson. His tail thumps harder. She's never going to forget this. Keys jangle in my hand. Time to set the plan in motion. Buster, or Toby version 2.0, was coming with me. Buster became my shadow, just like Toby used to be. Everywhere I went, he went. Coffee shops in the village, scrambling for scraps under outdoor tables. Walks in Central Park, dodging stroller traffic and tourists. Even the office, on days my boss was out of town, Buster curled up under my desk, snoring softly. Pictures, of course. Endless pictures. Buster lounging on my couch, Buster chasing pigeons, Buster looking soulful in front of a graffitied wall. Instagram, Facebook, every post tagged with Sarah's husband, Mark. Subtlety wasn't the goal. The messages started within days. Sarah, terse, annoyed. Michael, why are you posting pics of Buster like he's your dog? My reply, dripping with fake innocence. Oh, sorry, didn't realize it was a crime to treat a dog well. Sarah, escalating. You know what I mean. People are asking me why he's with you so much. Maybe because he is with me, you did drop him off like an Amazon return. Silence. She left me on red. But I knew it was just the beginning. Weeks crawled by. Sarah, radio silence. Occasional texts, how's Buster? No calls, no real interest. Perfect. Fuel for the fire. I ramped it up. Dog trainer, best in the city, Buster acing every command. Organic, grain-free food, ditching the cheap kibble Sarah sent. New collar, sleek black leather, engraved with my number, not hers. And then, the final touch, the name. Toby. At first, just whispers in private. Come on, Toby, good boy. But then, louder, bolder, at the dog park, in the coffee shop, on the street. Toby, heel, Toby, sit, good Toby. And Buster? He responded. Didn't flinch, didn't seem confused, just wagged his tail, happy for the attention, the treats, the love. Dogs are simple creatures. People, not so much. Then, the phone rang. Not a text, not a casual housebuster message, a full-blown phone call. Sarah. I smirked, answering. Miss me already? Her voice, tight, brittle. Michael, what the hell is this about? Renaming my dog Bingo? Bingo? Where did she get Bingo? Maybe she was more rattled than I thought. I leaned back, scratching behind Buster Toby's ears. Didn't rename him. He just seems to like the name better. Her breathing, sharp inhales and exhales, audible through the phone. That's not funny. Neither was losing my dog, but hey, life's full of disappointments. You are not keeping my dog, Michael. This isn't some sick revenge scheme, is it? I laughed. A short, humorless sound. Oh, but it is. And the best part? You did it to yourself. The line went dead. Click. Silence. I knew she'd be at my door soon, and I was ready. Sarah didn't even wait until morning. By nightfall, pounding on my brownstone door, hard enough to rattle the old windows, like the NYPD was raiding the place. I took my time, letting her stew, letting the anger simmer. Peeking through the peephole, seeing her face, red and furious, was almost as satisfying as getting Toby back would have been. Almost. Finally, I opened it. She shoved past me, no hello, no nothing, eyes darting around my living room, wild, searching. Where is he? Snapped, like a drill sergeant. I crossed my arms, leaned against the doorframe. Who? Play dumb, always effective. Her glare could melt steel. Don't play games, Michael, Buster, or Toby, or whatever insane name you're calling him now. I smirked, a slow, deliberate smirk. Oh, now you care where he is? Took you long enough. She let out a frustrated hiss, spun around, facing me directly. Enough with the games. You're not keeping my dog. I shrugged, took a step back, whistled. A moment later, Buster Toby trotted into the room, tail wagging, oblivious to the human drama unfolding around him. Happy to see Sarah, happy to see anyone, just happy. Sarah's expression softened, just for a split second, seeing Buster. Then she noticed the new collar, the black leather, my number. You changed his tag? Hissed, like a viper. Yep, had to, I said, casual as could be. You barely checked in. Figured if anything happened, he should have the number of someone who, actually takes care of him. Her jaw clenched, muscles tight in her face. That's not your call to make. I tilted my head, innocent again. Huh, kind of like how giving away my dog wasn't my call to make? She exhaled sharply, through gritted teeth, shaking her head. Oh my God, Michael, you are being completely insane. This is not the same thing. Isn't it? I stepped closer, lowering my voice, making her lean back slightly. Tell me, Sarah, what would you do if I told you I wasn't giving him back? Her face twisted, a mix of disbelief and fury. That's not funny. I shrugged. Neither was what you did to me. For the first time, a flicker, something in her expression that almost resembled guilt. But it vanished fast, buried under layers of self-preservation and entitlement. I didn't do anything to you. I was a kid, Michael. I didn't make that decision. I laughed, sharp, humorless. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm an adult now, and I'm making a decision. Her eyes widened, just a fraction. What does that mean? I walked past her, opened the door, held it wide. It means, I said, turning back, meeting her gaze. I'll think about giving him back when I feel like it. Her face turned crimson, rage boiling over. But Michael! Bye, Sarah. And I shut the door in her face. Solid, satisfying thud. She pounded on it, shouting my name, voice muffled through the thick wood. But I didn't care. I just smiled, looking down at Buster Toby, tail thumping happily at my feet. Looks like you're staying a little longer, buddy. Then my phone buzzed. Another angry text from Sarah. Probably. But the number was unfamiliar. A text message. Hey, you don't know me, but I think I have some info about your old dog, Toby. My heart slammed against my ribs. Toby, after all these years. 15 years of silence, of accepting he was gone, lost forever. And now, this. A stranger texting about him. My fingers trembled as I typed back. Who is this? How do you know about Toby? 3 dots appeared, then a reply. Unknown number. My name's Daniel. My aunt and uncle took in a dog named Toby years ago. I think it might be yours. My hands were shaking now, adrenaline surging. What happened to him? I typed, voice catching in my throat even though it was just text. A pause. Then, he lived a long life, man. Passed away a couple of years ago, but I remember him. He was a good dog. My throat tightened. A part of me, a dark, secret part, had always feared the worst. Shelter, abandonment, worse. But he'd lived a long life. That was something, a small sliver of peace in the years of uncertainty. I took a shaky breath, typed one last message. Thank you for telling me. I put my phone down, exhaling slowly. Buster Toby nudged my hand with his nose, sensing my shift in mood. I scratched behind his ears, emotions a tangled mess. Relief, sadness, a strange sense of closure mixed with a fresh wave of something else. And then, the thought hit me. Amanda, Sarah, owed me more than just an apology. She owed me. Big time. I glanced at my phone, then at the golden retriever sitting loyally by my side. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. And by the time I was done, Sarah would finally understand what it felt like to lose something you loved. Days turned into a week. Sarah tried everything. Texts, calls, even roping in mom and dad. Michael, your sister is distraught. Give her back her dog. My parents, always siding with Sarah. Always. I ignored them all. I wasn't done. Sarah had always skated through life, making demands, expecting everyone to bend to her will. Consequences? Never for Sarah. Now, for the first time, she was on the other side of the equation, and I was just getting started. Buster Toby and I became a fixture of Brooklyn life. Dog parks in Prospect Park, cafes in Park Slope, even a pet-friendly brewery in Williamsburg. Every outing documented, every happy moment plastered online, tagged to local pages, dog lover groups, everyone and their mother. It wasn't just about showing Sarah I was a better owner. It was about showing the world. Then, late one night, the phone rang. Mark? Sarah's husband. I smirked, answering. Let me guess, she sent you to do her dirty work? Mark sighed, weary. Michael, man, come on. You've made your point, okay? Have I? I leaned back on my couch, watching Buster Toby wrestle with a squeaky toy, a toy I bought him, because I don't think she's really felt it yet. She's losing her mind over this, Mark admitted, voice low. The kids keep asking where Buster is. She doesn't know what to tell them. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, so now she cares about how it feels to lose something. Mark was silent for a beat. Then, to my surprise, he sighed again. Look, between you and me, I get it. What happened with Toby was messed up. And yeah, Sarah never really acknowledged that. I blinked. Didn't expect that, especially from Mark. She's stubborn, he continued. Always has been. But Michael, the kids are the ones suffering here, not her. Them. That hit different. Because I remembered being that kid, crying myself to sleep, clutching Toby's old collar, confused, heartbroken, while the adults just moved on, like it was nothing. I exhaled, running a hand through my hair. Maybe Maybe Mark was right. Maybe the kids didn't deserve to be collateral damage in my war with Sarah. Maybe I needed to adjust the plan. Tell Sarah I'll think about it, I muttered. Mark didn't push. Thanks, man, and hung up. I stared at Buster Toby, now curled up beside me, completely at peace. Maybe I wasn't the only one who deserved justice. Maybe the kids did too. And that's when I knew exactly what I had to do next. Morning came, and with it, a decision. I wasn't giving Buster Toby back to Sarah. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But Mark was right. The kids were innocent. They hadn't forced me to give up Toby. They just loved their dog. So I called Mark. Bring the kids to Prospect Park this afternoon, I said. I'll bring Buster. He hesitated. You serious? Dead serious. A few hours later, I pulled up to the park, Buster Toby panting happily in the passenger seat, head out the window, wind ruffling his fur. As soon as we got out, I spotted Mark and the kids at a picnic table. Sarah wasn't there. Good. Not ready for that confrontation yet. The moment the kids saw Buster Toby, they erupted. Screams of Buster, little feet pounding the grass. The youngest, a girl maybe 6, practically launched herself at him, wrapping her arms around his neck in a hug. Buster Toby went ballistic, tail whipping back and forth, whole body wiggling with joy, licking faces, rolling onto his back, letting them smother him with affection. The love between them was real, raw, and it hit me in the chest like a physical blow. Maybe Sarah didn't deserve him, but these kids, they did. Mark approached, hands in his pockets, a relieved smile on his face. Appreciate this, man. They've been miserable. I watched the oldest, a boy around 10, bury his face in Buster Toby's fur. Reminded me of myself at that age. Heart aching, missing Toby. I sighed. Look, I'm not saying I'm giving him back, not yet, but I'm not heartless. Mark nodded, understanding in his eyes. I know. Silence stretched between us, watching the kids and the dog, a small island of joy in the middle of the park. Then, Mark glanced at me, a hint of warning in his voice. She's going to show up, Sarah, when she finds out about this. I smirked. Good, because I wasn't done making her understand what real loss felt like, and this time I had an audience. And right on cue, like a scene from a bad movie, Sarah arrived. Furious. I saw her SUV screech into a parking spot, barely in the lines. She stormed out, face like thunder, eyes locked on me, laser-focused, heat-seeking missile Sarah. The kids hadn't noticed yet, too engrossed in Buster Toby. But I saw her, and I was ready. What the hell do you think you're doing? Sarah snapped, stomping towards me, voice tight with rage. I kept my face neutral, calm amidst the storm. Letting your kids spend time with their dog. You know the thing you never let me do with Toby. Her nostrils flared, anger radiating off her in waves. Are we really still on that? Seriously? I tilted my head. Innocent act again. I don't know, Sarah. Do you think your kids will still be on this 15 years from now if you took their dog away? She hesitated. A flicker. Just a tiny spark of understanding, of empathy, maybe even guilt, but she buried it fast. Self-preservation always won with Sarah. This is ridiculous, she said, shaking her head, dismissing me, dismissing everything. Michael, you cannot just take someone's dog out of spite. I smirked. That's funny, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you did when you got rid of Toby. She groaned, exasperated. It was different. She cut herself off as her daughter, the little one, ran up, wrapping her arms around Buster Toby's neck. Mommy, look, Buster came to see us. Sarah's face softened, just for a fleeting moment, seeing her daughter's joy. Then she straightened, steel in her spine again. Yes, sweetie, but we have to go now. Buster's coming home. The little girl's face crumpled. But we just got here. Sarah's jaw clenched. We can't just... I'll bring him back, I interrupted, cutting her off. Sarah snapped her attention back to me, eyes narrowed. Excuse me? I crossed my arms, met her gaze, unwavering. I'll bring him back, but on my terms. Her eyes narrowed further, suspicion and anger swirling in their depths. And those would be? I looked down at the kids, still happily playing with Buster Toby, oblivious to the tension crackling in the air. Then, back at Sarah. You sit down and actually talk to me, I said, voice firm, leaving no room for argument. No brushing it off, no get over it, Michael. You actually listen to what you did to me. And if, and I mean if, I believe you actually understand it, I'll think about giving him back. Her face twisted, like I'd just offered her poison. You've got to be kidding me. I shrugged, indifferent. Then I hope you enjoy explaining to your kids why their uncle takes better care of their dog than their own mom does. For the first time, Sarah didn't have a snappy comeback. I could see the wheels turning in her head, the weight of the situation finally sinking in. The kids, the public park, the judgment in my eyes. Then, with a sharp exhale, she muttered, "Fine." I grinned, a genuine grin for the first time in weeks. "Great. Let's take a seat." This was it. The moment of truth. Sarah was finally going to feel even a fraction of what I'd felt all those years ago, and I wasn't holding back. We sat down on the grass, a good distance from the kids and Buster Toby, a silent battle line drawn between us. The air crackled with unspoken words, years of resentment simmering beneath the surface. Sarah sat across from me, arms crossed tight, a defensive wall around herself. But for once, I saw a flicker of something else in her eyes. Hesitation, uncertainty, maybe, just maybe, a crack in the armor. I wasn't going to make it easy, not after everything. "I know you're pissed," I started, keeping my voice calm, controlled but firm. "But let's get something straight. You didn't just take my dog, Sarah. You took something I loved." Sarah opened her mouth, ready to launch into her usual defenses, her justifications, her denials, but I held up a hand, stopping her cold. "No, you don't get to interrupt me this time. I need you to really listen." She clenched her jaw but stayed silent, eyes fixed on the grass between us. "I was a kid when you took Toby," I continued, the words coming easier now, the dam finally breaking. "You didn't just give him away. You lied. You told me he ran off, that he was gone. You let me sit there for years thinking he was lost, that he didn't want me anymore. You let me grieve, to feel like I was to blame, like I wasn't good enough for him." I could see the guilt in her eyes now, clearer, more defined. But it wasn't enough yet, not nearly enough. "I didn't want to give him away, Sarah," my voice cracked, raw emotion breaking through the carefully constructed calm. "I didn't want to lose him. He was my best friend, my family." I paused, letting the silence hang heavy between us, letting my words sink in. "You didn't just take a pet. You took a part of me, a part that stayed missing for years." I took a steadying breath, forced myself to soften my tone, just slightly. "I never had closure, never knew where he went, what happened to him, if he was happy. I just lived with this empty space." Sarah's shoulders slumped a little. She let out a long, slow breath, the first sign of true vulnerability I'd seen from her in years. "I didn't know," she whispered, voice barely audible. "You didn't care," I shot back, the bitterness rising again, sharper this time. "You did what was convenient for you, and I paid for it." I took another breath, trying to regain control. "I'm not asking for an apology, Sarah, not really, but I am asking you to understand. What you did, I need you to feel it, to see what it's like to lose something you love, and to have it handed back to you with conditions." Long pause. I watched her, every nuance of her expression, saw her fighting with herself, battling her own ingrained defenses. Her eyes scanned the ground, her fingers twitching nervously at her sides. And then, for the first time in over 15 years, she spoke the words I needed to hear, words I never thought I'd actually hear from her. "I'm sorry, Michael." Her voice cracked, barely above a whisper. "I'm sorry I never told you the truth. I didn't think it mattered. I thought you'd forget, that you'd get over it, but you didn't." Her voice broke completely, tears welling in her eyes. Tears. Sarah crying, unbelievable. "I messed up," she continued, voice thick with emotion. And I'm sorry. I see that now." I looked at her, really looked at her, for a long, silent moment, letting the weight of her words settle, letting the years of resentment begin to loosen their grip. Then, finally, I nodded, just a small, almost imperceptible nod. "Thank you," I said quietly. That's all I needed." I stood up, walked over to where the kids were still playing with Buster Toby, who had sprawled out on the grass, panting happily, surrounded by his adoring fans. Sarah followed me, quieter now, subdued. When the kids saw us approach, they ran over, faces beaming, asking, pleading if they could take Buster Toby home now. I crouched down, ruffling Buster Toby's fur, feeling the warmth of his fur under my hand. "You know," I said softly, looking at the kids, then at Sarah. "He really likes it here. Maybe we should let him decide where he wants to go." Sarah stiffened, instantly on guard again. "Michael." I held up a hand, stopping her protest. Turned to face her directly. "You said you wanted to take him home, but I can't make that decision alone. I've been through this before, remember? Let's let the kids decide." The youngest, the little girl, clutched Buster Toby's leash with both hands, eyes wide, pleading. "I want to keep him, Uncle Michael. Please." Her older brother nodded, echoing her plea. "Me too." I smiled, but it was bittersweet. tinged with a lingering sadness for Toby, for the lost years. "I know," I said softly. "I know." Then I turned to Sarah, met her gaze, unwavering. "We'll bring him home. But I need you to promise me something." Her brow furrowed, suspicion still etched on her face. "What?" I looked down at the kids, still happily nuzzling Buster Toby, then back at Sarah. "That you'll never forget what it feels like to love someone, and lose them, and then have them come back." She swallowed hard, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I promise," she whispered. With that, we walked back to her SUV, the kids chattering excitedly, Buster Toby trotting happily beside them, tail wagging a mile a minute. And even though I was still carrying the weight of those years of silence, of loss, I felt something shift within me, something lighter, a sense of release. And for the first time in a long, long time, I truly believed that maybe, just maybe, things could finally be right. The next few days were strange. Buster Toby was back with Sarah and the kids, back in his own home. But everything felt different. I wasn't just a bystander in his life anymore. I'd given him a second chance, a new name, a renewed purpose. And even if Sarah couldn't fully grasp the depth of it, I did. I knew what it felt like to love deeply, to lose everything, and to find a glimmer of redemption in the aftermath. The kids had their dog back, and maybe, just maybe, that was enough. Then, one night, about a week later, my phone rang. Sarah's name flashed on the screen. My stomach clenched. Was this it? The backpedaling? The recriminations? Was she going to take back everything she'd said in the park? I almost didn't answer, but something compelled me to. "Michael?" Her voice quieter than usual, hesitant, not accusatory, not demanding, just soft. "Yeah, Sarah? I wanted to thank you for everything." Surprise flickered through me. Gratitude from Sarah? For giving the kids back their dog, for listening to me. I know it wasn't easy. I leaned back in my armchair, staring at the ceiling, processing her words. "You're welcome," I said simply. A pause, then, "I don't know if I'll ever be able to make up for what I did, but I'll try, Michael. I'll try to do better." I closed my eyes for a moment, letting her words sink in. "That's all I can ask for," I said, honestly. She exhaled slowly, a long, drawn-out breath. And I know I can't change the past, but I am sorry for Toby, for everything. I felt a shift in my chest, a subtle but profound easing of tension, of pain, something I hadn't expected. Maybe it was closure, maybe it was just a long overdue apology, finally given, finally received. But whatever it was, it felt like the weight I'd carried for so long was starting to lift. "I believe you," I said softly, the words genuine, surprising even myself. Another long pause on the other end, then Sarah's voice, barely a whisper. I wish I could go back and fix it. For you. For us." I chuckled quietly, a small wry sound. "We can't, Sarah. We just have to move forward." After another long, thoughtful silence, she spoke again, her voice stronger this time, laced with a newfound resolve. "I know, thanks, Michael. Really." I ended the call, leaning back, exhaling slowly. It wasn't perfect. Fairy tales weren't real. But it was enough. Sarah and I had come full circle, or at least closer to it than I ever thought possible. The pain of the past didn't vanish, not entirely, but it had been acknowledged. And in Sarah's world, in our world, that was a monumental step, more than I'd ever dared to hope for. I glanced at Buster Toby's empty dog bed in the corner of my living room, a faint phantom warmth lingering in the air. He was happy. The kids were happy. And for the first time in a long, long time, I felt like I could finally start to let go of the past. Life didn't always give you second chances, but when it did, it was up to you to make them count. And in the end, maybe that's all that truly mattered.